There's one episode of SpongeBob SquarePants that has quietly disturbed fans for years. Not because it was violent or disturbing or full of edgy shock humor, but because nobody could ever explain it. Not really. There are no satisfying answers, no clear logic, just a creeping, chaotic energy that makes everything in it feel like it's wrong on purpose. At first glance, it looks like your typical SpongeBob fever dream episode. You know the type. SpongeBob ends up in some weird place. There's a lot of visual chaos, strange faces, exaggerated reactions. Squidward's annoyed. SpongeBob's unfazed. We've been here before. Or at least we think we have. But if you actually watch this episode, like not just passively view it, but actually pay attention, something starts to feel off. Like deeply off. The logic of the world starts to crack. Backgrounds repeat. Characters duplicate. Doors lead to nowhere. And the entire episode is haunted by this vibe. A very specific feeling that you're seeing something you're not supposed to see. Like you, the viewer, are trespassing in a corner of Bikini Bottom that was never meant to be mapped. This is SpongeBob in RandomLand. And what starts as a simple delivery slowly unravels into one of the most bizarre, logic-defying, and possibly darkest episodes in the entire franchise. And today, we're not just going to watch it. We're going to try and solve it. Because what if RandomLand isn't random at all? The episode begins innocently enough. Mr. Krabs gets a call. A customer's placed a delivery order, and SpongeBob and Squidward are the unlucky pair sent to deliver a Krabby Patty to a place that immediately sets off red flags. RandomLand. Even Mr. Krabs flinches at the name, which is rare. If there's one thing Krabs doesn't get scared of, it's anything that makes him money. But this? He just wants it off his plate. Squidward immediately protests. He's visibly uncomfortable. And for good reason. There's this unspoken rule in Bikini Bottom that certain places are just off limits. RandomLand is one of them. But SpongeBob, ever the optimist, is completely unfazed. How bad could it be? He asks in that bright, chipper tone that makes you instinctively nervous. Because when SpongeBob says that, something weird is always about to happen. So they set off on their journey. But the moment they approach the outskirts of RandomLand, the rules change. The visual style of the episode begins to mutate almost immediately. Colors are off. The sky is a muddy, washed-out greenish-purple that doesn't match any normal underwater palette. Buildings melt into each other like a dream drawn by someone half awake. Road signs twist and stretch. Entire chunks of scenery phase in and out of existence like a corrupted video game level. And then, without warning, their car is eaten by the road itself. It just sinks into the pavement. No explanation. No cause. Just a subtle suggestion that the environment is alive and it doesn't want them there. The weirdness ramps up quickly. Squidward opens a door and finds another door. And then another. It loops back into itself like a maze without a center. SpongeBob walks down a hallway, and the hallway loops behind him. The background art repeats, subtly at first, until it becomes clear that space itself is glitching. It's not just random anymore. It's broken. And then we start seeing them. RandomLand is full of doppelgangers, alternate versions of SpongeBob, Squidward, and other familiar faces. But these aren't just goofy parodies. They're unsettling. There's a mirror SpongeBob who smiles just a little too wide. A silent, staring version of Squidward who doesn't blink. And then, without any setup or payoff, one of the most infamous shots in SpongeBob history appears. Handsome Squidward. He's just there, sitting, silent, staring, breathing, not moving, not talking, just existing. And it's terrifying. There's no music, no punchline. He doesn't even acknowledge the characters. It's like he's aware of the audience, like he's watching you. There's another door that SpongeBob opens, and behind it is a real-life human mouth that says, "Nope," and then slams the door shut. It's funny, but also not, because that moment is a complete breakdown of the show's reality. SpongeBob is a cartoon. This is a human. They should never exist in the same physical space. And yet, there it is. A literal human rejecting SpongeBob's presence, as if saying, "You shouldn't be here." At this point, Squidward is spiraling. He's not just annoyed or sarcastic anymore. He's panicking. He starts to see more distorted versions of himself. One is just a JPEG of Squidward screaming, his mouth stretched open like a corrupted file. And for the first time, he becomes the SpongeBob character who doesn't understand what's going on. Which is ironic, right? Squidward is supposed to be the grounded one, the rational one, the boring one who doesn't believe in nonsense. But now he is the one losing his grip. The background loops. Time glitches. Characters vanish. Even SpongeBob begins to react. Not with fear, but with this strange calm acceptance, like he's seen this all before. And that's when the horror really hits. What if SpongeBob knows what RandomLand is? What if this place isn't random at all? Eventually, the episode ends. They deliver the Krabby Patty. The world snaps back into place. And everything goes back to normal. But we saw what we saw. We watched the world glitch. We watched characters duplicate and mutate. We watched reality unravel. And it all just resets? No explanation. No resolution. No closure. And maybe that's the scariest part. Because what if RandomLand is still out there, lurking behind the cartoon logic? Just one bad animation frame away from bleeding into the real Bikini Bottom. And the next time SpongeBob opens the wrong door, we'll be watching. But this time, the show might watch back. So what is RandomLand? A joke on too far? A hidden metaphor? Or a glimpse into something SpongeBob was never meant to show us? Let me know your theories in the comments. And if you thought this episode was strange, go and see my playlist in the description for more weird episodes.